Hello there. Well, it's Friday night. It's a little late on a Friday night, but hey, that's all right. Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. G4, how you doing? How are things? How has your Friday been? Alita2621, welcome on into the observatory. Thank you very much for the follow there. Appreciate that. Good to have you in here. Gervast as well, followed about 20 hours ago, shortly after we ended the stream. Appreciate that follow. It was interesting times last night, watching the Mars rover making a successful landing on the Red Planet, and we'll be looking forward to seeing more images coming out from there. Yes, it is Friday night. We have clouds as usual. I always hope that the forecast is going to be incorrect, and it's not. We got high winds as well. You can hear them whipping around out there, and that's not what we want. There we go. And let me just test that one more time. All right, that would come through. But yeah, we ended off last night with a really awesome image of the Whirlpool Galaxy M51, and where is that? That is, there we go. That's it there. Interacting galaxy 28 million light years away. Nerdstoke, hello. How you doing? How are you? Mooncat, welcome on in. Yes, this was our final image of the night last night. That was that 16 minutes? That is a 16-minute exposure on the Whirlpool Galaxy. We did a lot of long single shots last night. Guiding was working out really, really well. So yeah, we went for the longest preview shot available, short of doing 33 minutes. I think next time when guiding is really on point, I'll try to go do a 33-minute exposure on probably an M51. We'll probably do that again because that just gives such a nice view. And after the stream went off, we all went to bed, and we didn't stay up until 4 in the morning, getting more subs on this target. I stayed up for quite a while longer, and actually the skies remained clear. So I started firing away on some shots there. I think I got maybe about 2.5 hours worth of exposures on M51. So that we'll be processing that image. I'll most likely be doing that tomorrow. Yeah, I did some 5-minute exposures on there, and they were turned out pretty well. So I wasn't fussing too much about where the placement of the galaxy was going to be in this image. Also largely because this section right here is where we have most of the light transmission coming through the sensor. Sorry, not the sensor, apologies. The filter, because the filter that I'm using, it's designed for a DSLR camera. It's supposed to be right up against the sensor. And because this one's far away, there's going to be vignetting, pretty much square vignetting around here once everything gets stretched out. So I figure that's in a good spot for the galaxy. We will process that. Like I said, there's about 2.5 hours of images on there. So we will treat that as our rainy day astronomy image for tomorrow, and also as a backup, I do have some shots of the moon prior to that. There we go. Yeah, took some quick exposures of the moon. This was a while back now. Lux, how you doing? Any clear skies? Just processing tonight, if that. Papita Electronica, hello. True Vision Photos. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Astrobeard, good to see you in here, dude. I have been using these emotes to no end. Those meatheads emotes, those are fantastic. Bacon heart. Come on. If I had to pick like almost a second favorite emote, it's got to be the bacon heart. All right, you're gonna lurk. You're watching Conjuring 2 for the first time. Excellent. No worries. I'd contemplated about, do I just make this a movie night tonight? And then I figured, nah, let's do this. No habla español. Oh, you weren't even talking to me on that one there. Coding, X-coding. How are you doing? No. Ayo, how's it going? Yeah, that one's cool too. Those are some fun emotes. Those are nifty. Yeah, good to have you guys on in here. Do I ever do mosaics? Not yet. I am kind of figuring that the mosaics are going to come once I get all the spacing correct. And also when we can have a time when I have enough hours in an evening to do a mosaic on there. Within a foot. Foot, how you doing? How are you tonight? We're doing alright, just been playing Minecraft as always. No worries, that's all good. I've dabbled in Minecraft a little bit. Maybe to get some achievements. It's interesting to see what a lot of people will build in that world there. Lady Coco, how are you doing tonight? Welcome on in here. And thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the observatory. Lady Coco, how are you doing tonight? Guys, my name is Tom. For those who are new to the channel, I am the Astro Canuck. And 99% of the time, I want to be imaging the night sky. However, it's you can see up here in the top, up over here, this shot here, we have clouds. The scope is undercover tonight. It's chilling out in the back garden. I am in the east of England, and 147% of the year we're covered in clouds. So we try to dodge those clouds as much as possible, so we can do some interesting shots from the back garden here. You're doing fine, coding a little. Excellent. What are you coding tonight? What's the what is causing you grief and joy at the same time? You're from Argentina, so if anyone has a question, I'm saying anyone, I'm offering you out for Spanish lessons all of a sudden. You just killed 3 withers? Weathers? What? Carl Weathers. Oh god. That man's a treasure. Don't do that. Doing good. Excellent. Good to have you on in here. Capone Gaming, my man. It was great to see you last night. Awesome. Yeah, it was one of those things. I woke up nice and early and kind of joined in on the raid from the warship and was happy to hang around in the stream for a little bit. I may have fallen back asleep and just kind of made it into work on time. No, hey, you made friends. A bug fix on your Twitch bot. Is your Twitch bot just like, is it like Stream Elements Twitch bot, or are you using something else for that there? The scope does look very sad, True Vision. It's sad. No, we don't want it to be underneath the tarp there. We want it to be uncovered. We want to be doing things. Bubba Zelnik, hello, mother. How are you? Yes, Lady Coco, thank you very much for coming on in. When we have cloudy skies, we will be looking at past images, lamenting on how much we hate clouds, and just generally talking about astronomy, astrophotography, and last night being the landing of the Mars Perseverance rover was very exciting. It was a success, so we will be looking forward to seeing some interesting images coming from there, and just a lot of interesting science as well coming from this mission. It's going to be a long-term plan that they have there with future missions going to retrieve samples to bring back to Earth so it can be studied in great detail rather than kind of having a little science lab on the rovers there. Like stream melons, but simpler. Oh, that's cool. My dad went to get milk. Will he ever come back? When did he last go to get milk? How long has he been gone? Don't say like 15 years. Good. That was great for the Mars rover. That was fun. I was fun watching it. Like 9 years. All right. Well. Oh no. My coffee mug is stuck to the... That's why you should always use a coaster. Ben Naduva. Ben, how are you doing, man? Welcome on in. Good to see you in here tonight. Good to catch a bit of your stream last night as well. It was always a good time there. Lots of interesting, lots of really good work that you're doing on your stream as well. It's paying off for you too. It's really cool to see some great success with you, dude. Just came by for a cheeky lurk while I wrap up work. No worries. It's all good. Alright, I'm gonna go respawn the Ender Dragon. Ooh. Awesome. Well, good luck with that one there. Uncle Bill. Hello, Uncle Bill. How you doing, man? Good to see you on in here. Ben, thank you very much for the lurk there. Quietly enjoying the wonders of the universe. Yes. So we are kind of looking back on, like I said, some previous images that we've done before. The moon, these were doing really quick shots of the moon. How long were these? These were like one millisecond we were taking these shots. It was almost a full moon. So you want to try. Usually we're going to take video, but we figured, let's do a millisecond shot. It's not going to be that bad for things. Xcoding. All right, see you around. Going to go kill the bugs on code. All right, good luck with that. Hopefully your code works. I know that you can do everything possible and code doesn't work, and you don't know why, or your code will work and you still don't know why. So while we do, generally we don't like the moon when we are going for, like, if we have a target like a nebula or some kind of other faint object, the moon is just totally going to just overpower your scope, and it's just going to beam right down the middle of the turbo vomit. How are you doing, Turbo? Welcome on in. I think there's no other way to say your name without any less gusto. So usually when we are taking some long exposures, the moon's just going to absolutely drown that right out, and it's not going to be any good. So it's also good to embrace it every now and then. Pepita here, it's 18 and it's summer, so it's daytime. Awesome. We're at 2100 hours and it is nice and dark. Do I share these images on a site? I do not really, and if I sell them, there are a few images that we have. Actually, they won't be available at the moment. I have an Etsy site with Mrs. Canuck, and we have recently migrated that from the UK to Canada, and I'll be putting some more of my Astro pictures back up on there. I can show you an example of what I have done in the past, or what will be available shortly. Because I have given a bit of a treatment to some of the images there, and I think there are some new images that are going to be coming up that I will have available soon. Like one of the ones I am happier with is actually the moon. There you go. That's one of my posters we had for sale. It is currently on hold at the moment, but yeah, things like that. These kind of prints will be available soon again, and I'll put that up on our Discord, kind of letting you guys know if there's any kind of. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of things that I do have for sale regarding these, but you know, it's a passion project of mine. I am also a graphic designer, so 9 to 5 that is my job. So being able to implement that along with my imaging and what I do here, it's I'm happy to kind of mildly supplement things with a few bits on here. Have you ever captured a nebula? Yes, we have. Funny you should ask. We have. This was one of our images from last night. That's one of our galaxies. That's M51, 28 million light years away. That was our final image from last night. And I did manage to stay up a little later and take some images, take some more images of that galaxy, so we'll be able to process that. And I always like to go back to this image of the Orion Nebula because Orion is absolutely gorgeous. This was a 10-minute exposure, so we were really overblowing that core, but we got a lot of wonderful detail showing through on here. So it's just that beauty. This nebula, it's nice and bright. It's a stellar nursery that you can see with the naked eye when you look up at the 3 stars of Orion. Yes, this is the Orion Nebula. So you can kind of see that faint kind of smudge when you're looking at the 3 stars of Orion there. So really you can start to see, because that core is so bright that it's going to be visible if you have a clear dark night. And pretty much even if you're in like I've looked at it in a Bortle 7 sky, and I've still been able to make out a little bit of that faint smudgy from the Orion Nebula. Where I am here, I am in kind of like the mid-range for the light pollution, and I can really make out that gray kind of smudgy bright area. That's you can tell there's something else up there, and it's not it's not the regular points of light with all the stars. It is this fuzzy patch over there. What is the name of the one that looks like a hand? It's bluish with brown. Looks like a hand. Bluish with brown. Bluish with brown. That's generally going to be shot with the Hubble palette, where you are kind of reassigning the colors to, or the signals to different colors. There, it's a modified color palette. What was a hand? Oh, yes, I know. The Pillars of Creation. That is M16. I do not have that target available to me. Largely because, mainly with houses, that kind of gets in the way. So yes, M16 is part of the Eagle Nebula. And that's this one right here, yes? Yeah, the Pillars of Creation. The Hubble Space Telescope is going to get a much greater resolution of this target. If I were to image it with this telescope, I would probably be able to. What would I get for resolution on this thing? we would be sitting at a focal length that is about, it's about maybe in this kind of range here. So we would be able to, we wouldn't have Hubble resolution, obviously, but you know, we would be able to get some cool images on there. Lady Coco, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you. Appreciate that. Glad to have you on in here. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. All right, so another little feature that we do have on the site. Actually, it'll probably be easier if we let's go back over to Orion for a second here. Yes, thank you. This is awesome. Glad you guys are coming on in here tonight. Like I said, we usually are taking these images live, and we'll try to look at some of these areas of the night sky in as great detail as possible. But one of the cool little features that we've added recently is this heat map extension. If you are on a PC, I don't know how well it works on the mobile phone yet. Still looking into that. But if you're on the PC, you can actually tap the screen, and you'll have a little pointer that will kind of be assigned to your name. And if you're hitting the screen there, it will move around. So if there's anything that we're kind of looking at that's my mouse, that's not going to count. Anything that we're kind of looking at on the screen, you can see a few little finger pointers on there. I know I can also customize them, so I'll still be looking into that to do some things. And yeah, so when you tap on the screen, I can see what you're pointing at. So if there are any kind of questions, rather than saying, what's that star fifth from the left up by the triple star down by the triangle-ish area, you know, if you guys have any specific questions, what are we looking at? How far away is this star? Something like that, you know. It's just that extra little bit of interactivity with the channel. I've seen a few people use this, and you know, I think this is perfect for what we're doing on here. I love it so much, and it was only recently been installed. So it is part of a channel point reward, so you guys can activate it. It'll come up for 30 seconds, or I can control it as well, just to be able to you know, to turn it off and on, because sometimes a lot of fingers end up on my nose.
Every star will die, including our own sun, and eventually all that will be left is a sparse soup of particles and radiation. Even the energy of that soup will be sapped away over time by the expansion of the universe, leaving everything just a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. But TGIF, am I right?
You hate having to wait till Friday to redeem that. Well, there you go. It is Friday. Finally, that is being utilized on a Friday. Don't Joel me gaming. I'll Joel you all I want, man. How's it going? Yes, that is a friend of the channel. That is Jay Tenko, and he is he's been a big help for things on here. And there is the achievement, the Xbox, the fun little Xbox achievement. There is a 10% chance that you, or sorry, not 10%, a 5% chance that you can unlock a rare achievement on there. So we took a while to get a program. Actually, there's a bunch of people. Luna, how you doing? Kenny, it's you. How have you been tonight? What's up with my mouse on the screen? It's allowing me to click at your OBS. It is. That is what we're doing here. That's a cool little feature that I have added onto this channel. So if you guys see something interesting on the screen, something that we're looking at, you guys can point it out there, and I will, you know, get a better idea rather than you guys saying, hey, what's this star over here? And I'm like, over where? Over there. Well, I can't see where you're pointing. Now I can see where you're pointing. My only worry about space is that it is expanding, and when something expands, because it is being contained, it is because it's being contained by something. Well, that's the thing. What is it going to be? Is it going to be, you know, the expansion of the universe will end in the big rip? Will it be a great contraction? Will it be a big bounce? Will it just kind of constantly going in and out? There are many times looking up at the night sky that there is, and trying to think about these immense distances, that it fills you with a little bit of existential dread every now and then. So it's maybe a quick thought of puppy dogs and ice cream. Yes, Don't Joel Me Gaming. Thank you very much. I remember seeing you in JD's streams. Good to see you on in here as well. Luna, you dead inside. Oh, what's up? What can we do to maybe help cheer you up a little bit? Would you, oops. Do you need me to pronounce Uranus? Or better yet, Uranus? Oh, hi Pops. Jumping on in just as I say Uranus, not Uranus. Doing well, pretty exciting stuff about Perseverance. That was really cool. I want to see. I haven't had a chance to catch up on a lot of the updates for today, so that is kind of going to be what I'm going to check out a little later on. Catch up with that. We have imaged Uranus as well. We have looked at Uranus in great detail and seen the moons in our images there. I'll find that image in a little bit there so we can get a closer look at Uranus. And yeah, we'll have a peek over there. You get my nose picked? See, my screen is small enough on studio mode, I can't see that. Don't Joel Me. Yes, I was there, in fact, and he recommended your channel. This is really interesting. Well, thank you very much for coming on in. This is what we like to look at space. We like to complain about clouds as well, as we are undercover with clouds, with no clearing in sight. There was a chance that it was going to be clear tonight, but that seems to be a fleeting moment there. Yes, Old Balls. Pops, how you doing? How you feeling tonight? Asterbird, I've got Lone Stars. I love Uranus on bumper sticker on my wall and another waiting for a new scope. Awesome! I love Spaceballs. When was the last time? It was on Amazon Prime a couple years back. Watched the heck out of that movie. Fooled you. No rain. Oh. That's what we don't want. Still waiting for Spaceballs the stream. My God. How many a-holes we got on this ship? Yeah, but I don't bet y'all don't know the combination of my luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love that movie. It's got to be on. Lucky guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's ridiculous. The same kind of combination an idiot would have on his luggage. What's all the churning and bubbling? You call that radar, sir? No, sir. We call it Mr. Coffee. Spaceball 1, she's gone from suck to blow. We need more Spaceballs. All right, I can also do this with the fingers, and I can turn them off there. Your ears are just tuned for any mention of coffee, aren't you there, Cav? Did you know there's an animated Spaceball series? No. No. Tell me more. Ears in tune. Yes, sir. Bought a... Mr. Richard, hello. Bought a B-Link mini computer. Think I have it set up for remote desktop and seems to work. Wishing me luck. Good luck with that. As always, technology can be a bit of a pain, but yes, all the best luck with that, because remote desktop working is fantastic. I love it. I recommend it. Miss One Thing, Kenny, they say they have a picture from the crane looking down the rover in flight. It's pretty cool. Do you have a picture you can drop in Discord, perhaps, or a link that I can check that out there? That'd be really cool. Neutrino, Security Live's favorite particle. How you doing tonight? Good to see you on in here. Exactly. What is this animated Spaceballs? Astrobit, stop keeping us in suspense. No more suspense. Tell us, where can we find this? How many episodes? How long? How much? How many? How? Who? Please. Hey, y'all. Dustin. How you doing, man? Good to see you on in here. Not sure. They showed it in the press conference. Maybe you can find it. All right, cool. I imagine they're going to start cropping up in more avenues as well for us to kind of take a look at them. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool shot. I think there is some cool opportunities to see some incredible views, because you know there are enough robots and cameras on and around Mars that they should have everything fixated on that one spot there. You know, pause science for just a brief moment and capture these images, because those are views that you just aren't going to get at all. It was Prime for one season, 2008-ish. I'm sure it's available in other places. All right, we'll explore other avenues and see what we can find there. That'd be fun to watch. Although the problem is it would have to be all the voices, and unfortunately John Candy departed long before 2008. Good. You see the news that the rover had just landed, had color cameras, and they did video of the landing, and that's streaming back now. I was just saying earlier, I haven't caught up with everything going on with the rover landing. Last night it was after the stream, continued on doing some imaging, so we have about 2.5 hours or ish on the Whirlpool Galaxy. So that is promising. That is not the Whirlpool Galaxy. That's the moon. But I will also look to process the moon as well, if not tomorrow, but another night. But we did get a few exposures on there, just to try and combat any of the atmospheric turbulence against the moon. But these are some of the exposures from the Whirlpool Galaxy last night. These were 5-minute shots. This is 5 minutes on a galaxy I've never had an image like this of a galaxy for 5-minute exposures. Aside from, let's say, Andromeda Galaxy, because it's nice and bright. So we'll be doing some processing of that tomorrow night for our rainy day astronomy session. And yeah, seeing how that's going to turn out, because I haven't really done many images for post-processing with this camera. We've taken a lot of single images that we've maybe kind of mishmashed together to make a bit of a long exposure. So this will be kind of cool to check out and see how this galaxy turns out. I think everything has really just been nebulae of what we shot with this camera. So trying to get a galaxy on here is going to look pretty darn cool. Mars rover streaming is probably better quality than 90% of the streams on Earth on Twitch. Probably. I mean, it's also really, really cool to look at those images, and it's just like, that's another planet. We're looking at Mars in ridiculously high definition, and it's just like, it doesn't look. It looks, like a little of an alien world, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, that looks very much like Earth. Some areas are on our planet, so you can see that how Mars could have been, billions of years ago, or millions of years ago, couple billion years ago, just to imagine what it looked like, because it obviously wasn't all of this big giant ball of rust. They've not posted that image yet, but I'm sure they'll post it here and any other images they have. All right. Oh, raw. Oh, they got raw images. All right, that's cool. Although it was funny to see some of the memes that were already put up with Bernie Sanders sitting in front of the camera, Bernie in his mittens. Within a foot, I had, how many exposures did we get what did we get last night? After we got 32 exposures. I was going to try to get a few more, but it just started getting too hazy out, and that was about almost about 4 in the morning by the time I got the 3:30, let's say. By the time I kind of wrapped things up, covered up the scope, and tried to get a little bit of sleep before work. So I am kind of running on maybe 4.5 hours sleep. So they have the photo on NASA's Instagram. Yes, I'll check that out. They showed a picture of a porous rock, so they have volcanic rock. Looks really close. Volcanic rock really close to the surface. That's awesome. The Bernie meme was hysterical for sure. It is. It's. I like how things can also hilariously, innocently run around the internet as well when it's not doing any harm, and it's really, really good fun. And I've enjoyed seeing the Bernie memes all over the place. Weird fact about the Argentinian Spanish word pants. In Spanish, pantalon. What do we call it? Like lumpa. A little bit of Spanish today. For lumpa. Pantalon. Noob question for you. How many planets can you photograph? Personally, I have all of the planets have been able, or maybe Mercury has been, because it's nice and close to the sun. You really have to kind of get it as the sun is setting, and I don't have those views on the low horizon. I have not imaged Venus, but I've observed Venus on many occasions. We have looked at Mars live and haven't really taken it. I've taken one image of Mars, and that's on my Instagram page there. I can jump over to that in just a second because I am looking at NASA's shot of the rover, and we have looked at Uranus. I do have that. Don't know if it's on. Oh yeah, no, it should be on here. All right, I'll find that in a second. Pluto. Don't forget about the. See, I grew up with Pluto being a planet, and it wasn't until the late '90s when they did designate it as a dwarf planet. Some people want it to be reinstated as a planet. Others are fine with it not being a planet. Ooh, things are really blowing around out there. Pluto is the plane of the ecliptic is at a nice angle right now, and we have had access to them. I haven't really purposely tried to image Pluto because that's going to be very, very difficult. So yeah, we were able to get some decent images. I have yet to get Jupiter and Saturn in this scope. Now I think those two are going to look absolutely fantastic, and it's probably not going to be until next season when I'm able to do that. Hyperwork, clouds, but TGIF, right? Yes, TGIF indeed. How are you doing tonight, dude? We looked at Mars, and no, I'm not having it. It's a bloody planet. Pluto is a planet to you, eh? There we go. Solidarity for Pluto. Yeah, I grew up with Pluto being a planet. And while I will respect their choice, I will not always choose to honor that choice. No. I think it was declassified in the early 2000s. All right, calm down. Doing okay, just winding down a bit tonight. Well, good to have you on in here for a little bit here. Pluto will always be a planet to you as well. Well, join in the club. No, Pluto was just downgraded to a dwarf planet because it just didn't completely fit the classification as a planet. A planet, by definition, needs to be able to orbit the sun, but also needs to kind of clear out its local area. And it's just, yeah, Pluto is kind of small. It's smaller than the moon. So yeah, at one point it was thought to be of comparable size to the Earth. But with as technology advanced, Pluto's dimensions started getting smaller and smaller. So by the time we realized that it was actually it was a much smaller trans-Neptunian object. It was already kind of classified as a planet, and then eventually the definitions were defined, and Pluto doesn't exactly fit the classification as a planet. Hey Vault! Had my Celestron 6 SE for about 3 weeks and finally got a chance to view Jupiter and the moons at 6:30 in the morning yesterday. It was an exciting experience. Awesome. I have seen Jupiter through my camera lens at about maybe 300 millimeters in focal length, just as not even a fantastic shot, but just was able to make out a little bit of the great red spot on there, and it was really, really cool, but it was a very fleeting view. So yeah, that's awesome. So you got for 3. That's also the thing when you get new equipment and those clouds roll in. That is so frustrating because you just want nothing more than to be able to look up at the night sky and check out what's up there, what we can see, because you're just opening your eyes up to so much more when you're looking through the viewfinder of a telescope. And the first time I looked through a scope looking at the stars, just realizing that there's so much more beyond or even around some of the brighter stars you just can't see from the ground because you're not able to resolve those images in great enough detail. So, hopefully you get many more clear nights ahead of you for looking out at your with your 6SE, which is it's a pretty decent scope to start off with. But what classifies it as a planet? What if they were called something else? What about we're just claiming they were called planets? Why can't they be called jawbreakers? Why, damn it, why? Because. But you grew up believing it is a planet. And, in your heart, if it's still a planet, Pluto is still a planet. And Jupiter is cool to photograph on my DSLR at 400 millimeters. I really want to get a good shot of Jupiter. I was really hoping we were going to get some shots of it with the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, but that didn't work out. Because as you can see in the back garden image up there, those houses, those trees are well in the way of my views to the south and the west. And when Jupiter and Saturn were at the conjunction, they were behind the houses essentially. So there was no chance without lugging this entire rig out into a field. But clouds. We also had clouds. Go figure, right? Astrobeard, you got Jupiter at opposition at 2032 millimeters and a 2 times power mate. Did we see any of those images? Did you drop them in the Discord at all? Right, jumping back over to NASA's Instagram post. So that's the view. The high-resolution image aboard the descent stage captured Perseverance being lowered by its sky crane. That is tremendous. That is so cool. Wish I had my scope during the conjunction. It was still fascinating to the naked eye. My only views of the conjunction were through live telescopes and kind of relying on other people to stream those images. And I know that I knew what to expect with some of these shots there, and I know a lot of people may have been expecting like amazing planetary images through these through the telescopes, when really it's small points of light that we're looking at there, with being able to see some moons. But yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic opportunity and well documented by so many people. That's what's kind of benefited astrophotography and astronomy in general with these lockdowns, with the pandemic, and that people are turning more to the night sky because you're not really rushed to get up in the morning for work if you're fortunate enough to be working from home as well, and take these opportunities to look up at the night sky. You had 3 trees causing issues too. It would have been killer to be back home in Nebraska. Flatland would have been clear for miles. That's it. I want to a future house purchase is going to be largely dependent on the views. How little trees are blocking the view? Which do I have a clear shot of Polaris? Can I get a good polar alignment? Will I be able to see as much of a 360-degree view as possible, without having to almost move my own house underground? What a big waste. Bring a camera along and crash the whole rig 90 seconds later.
Every star will die, including our own sun. And eventually all that will be left is a sparse soup of particles and radiation. Even the energy of that soup will be sapped away over time by the expansion of the universe, leaving everything just a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. But TGIF, am I right?
More words of encouragement from Jay Tenko. Lux, welcome back. How are you doing? Good to see you back in here. They said on the press stream that it's about 2 meters from the ground here, so you can see the dust getting kicked up from the top right and bottom left. Yes, that is so cool. Good, I raised my telescope up to a higher to get a better view. I'm pretty much at the maximum extension of this of the mount. Also, I do have a peer adapter on the scope as well, so that is higher than usual. And it's also just it's because looking up over that neighbor's roof, you know, I need the height I can get. And I've always kind of wondered, can I raise it up just a little higher, like maybe just 2 more feet, something stable as well. But you know, to be able to get some of those targets earlier in the evening, so I'm not waiting so long to get some of the interesting shots there. You know, it would mainly just really improve my my images towards the northeast and the east. Still, it wouldn't really open up the west so much. By the way, as I predicted, Mr. Ozzy has probably gotten the EQ8R Pro. I did see his post on the delivery of what was coming in there. That was a massive amount of kit that he's got. Man, that is so cool. I don't know, G4. That looks pretty round to me. That's awesome. I'm so glad that everything was like so perfect. Round lens giving that impression. It's the lens distortion. My God. Lying to us this whole time. Terrence from Belgium. Hello. Welcome on in. So what's the atmosphere on Mars like? Very, very thin and very non-existent. NASA spent gazillions of dollars to buy the roundest lens there is. Alright, where is... Hello? Hello, Discord? Ooh, there's been more images lately. Professor Moon. Here's my picture of Centaurus A. That's awesome. Professor... Sorry, not Moon. Muon. Pupita Electronica, the rectangular red nebula, 2,300 light years in the Unicorn. That is really cool, too. That's a sweet shot there. When rocks are better than Mona Lisa. I mean, every image that comes back of Mars is like the most interesting thing ever. Still don't see the point of sending that to Mars. It wouldn't even be able to land or go anywhere near it for the next 100+ years. How do you mean? Just sending that rover? Or because it's going to leave behind certain sample bars that are going to be picked up in about 9 years' time. Still learning planetary processing. I have, like, where's my image of Mars? Like, I'm imagining my first foray into planetary imaging wasn't done properly. Because it just didn't seem like everything worked out. I think I probably did too many frames, tried to pick out too much detail. Not so much pick up too much detail, but trying to pick out too many frames out of there. It ended up being a fairly, well, sure, yes, it was during opposition when there was that massive storm on Mars, so not a lot of people were getting any features. But you know, that's my image of Mars. That's my first process of Mars. And while I was happy to have that polar region kind of show up on there, you know, I'm not sure where that blue fringe came from. I'm just going to imagine that's probably due to possibly chromatic aberration that I wasn't able to suss out there. But, you know, what did I try to do? I think I tried to use a 3 times Barlow on that as well. And then what? We bring it back and it's like, ooh, it's made out of chocolate and caramel. Who knew? Wouldn't that be bananas, right? Next time, use this scope to get more of it. What scope are you going to... Don't put up the Hubble scope. He dropped in Mars, too. You see, now that's what I was almost expecting I was going to get. Something like that with a little bit of a feature on there. That is really cool. You say you're still learning planetary processing, but that's off to a tremendous start. Holy cow, man. Those are really, really good. People on Mars by 2050 betting us $1 million. You're banking on that pretty hard. I mean, I think we'll be back on the moon first before there's any kind of Mars. I mean, also look at what SpaceX is trying to do with the Starship, and they're still they still have lots of long sessions to go for more testing to be done there. Mirrored Cat. It's 3-month streak. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. 3 months there, Tier 1. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Mirror Cat. Glad to have you sticking around with us tonight. 3 months in a row. This time is really, really blowing. It feels like the Christmas, there's this little bit of a lull. Everything kind of seemed to go, like, kind of slow down a little bit. And then we're almost into March already. Holy potatoes. Prinzikowski, how you doing? Ahoy. We'll be on the moon in like 5 years. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I see moon being sooner. What else could we do on the moon? I always think about that scenario in the Time Machine with Guy Pearce when they're talking about mining on the moon and building a new moon base, and then he goes forward in time a little more, gets that jolt, and the moon is just cracking in the sky. I always thought that was a really cool shot to see in that movie. One Life on Twitch. Hello again, One Life. How you doing tonight? Well, we've already been on the moon in 1960. Ooh, when? What was the date of the moon landing there, G4? Month, date, year? When was that? Yeah, time has no more meaning there. It's true. It's just, you know, keeping busy with this as well. You know, looking forward to the nights when we are streaming. That's kind of, you know, pushing those days to try and get to the streaming nights. I always appreciate doing that. I see potential for real life Big Brother Mars episodes. Oh my god. And every week they vote one astronaut. Are we just trying to make a real life Among Us? Is that all this is going to be? Ahoy is a signal word to call for a ship or boat, and it comes from the German sailor language. Did Alexander Graham Bell want to answer the phone? Ahoy! You picked my nose. What are you picking my nose for? There are some that are kind of around my nose. Stop it. No. I want to retire on the moon. You know, given the choice of like going anywhere, I would like to go to the moon as safely as possible. Like, give me like 100% guarantee that nothing's going to go wrong, and yeah, I'll fly me to the moon. Ahoy DS9 to call it in. You got a little... There we go. Security, how you doing, man? Oh. No rain. Dustin, already have to run. Hungry, take care of y'all. Alright, dude, Dustin, get some food in you. Enjoy. We'll catch you later. Thank you very much for coming on in tonight. And if we see you around a little later, fantastic. If not, we'll catch you on the next stream. Appreciate you stopping on by. Okay, happy Friday, and your bot got a sub last night. Mine got it too. Mine. What do I mean, mine? I got one back too. I was going to resubscribe to you, and then I already had one. Speaking of free subscriptions. Thank you, Luna. Hey, Putzy. Asteroid Putzy coming in weighing at 12,000 kilograms. Putzy fam, how you doing? Kilmer live. Secula, hello. Wrong message. What'd you type in there? Okay, no worries. That is fine. No problem. You're a Barbie girl.
Let's give him a warm welcome because his whole career depends on this next important message. Well, I've been thinking...
Putzy, Ray Putzy, how you doing, man? Yes, also Luna, thank you so much for the 2-month streak, or the second months of subscription there. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for surrendering your Prime subscription to me. Those of you who are on Prime, you are able to use your Prime subscription to subscribe to your favorite streamer for absolutely free. It's included with your Prime membership. No pressure at all for using your Prime membership. Thank you as well for the gifted sub, Luna. You're too kind. Thank you. Tien for Tien 10 for Twee. I'm never going to pronounce that one right, but thank you so much. Thank you. Putzi, thank you so much for the raid. How you doing, man? How did things round out on your stream tonight? Did you get a little bit sorted out? Did you do some singing? I'm seeing we got some Barbie girl in the raid message there. So is that like your end song of the night? Weirdly enough, you're not tired. Zenzon as well, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome into the observatory. Glad to have you on in here with us. Those of you who are new to the channel, thank you so much for coming on in. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. And what we like to do here is we like to take live images of space. We like to look at the Orion Nebula, an absolutely beautiful nebula that is about 1,200 light years from Earth, very visible in the night sky. You can see it with the naked eye. Naked eyes. And we like to look at all sorts of things. However, we are clouded over tonight. Alien planet reveal at 1 million subscribers. What do you mean alien planet reveal? What are you talking about? Who told you? Is it Secula? Cecilia? I'm going to pronounce the names wrong, but thank you very much for coming on in. Our beloved meat cameras, yes. Bacon? Who's saying bacon? Cecilia. Cecilia. It's Cecilia without the I. Alright. I will... Cecilia. I like the phonetic spelling of names. That's great. Terrence from Belgium. Oh, I broke the rule of the Astro Club. Don't talk about the alien planet. No. Also, we do not talk about the Voldemort telescope. We don't mention that one by name. Every time we mention that one, it is going to be delayed by another, let's say by another day. And it's going to add another $500,000 to the budget. Uvatar. Iluvatar? There's another name I'm going to muck up. I'm new to astronomy. I'm learning stuff. I liked it a lot in school. I will turn 40 in July. In March. And nobody heard that. And so I thought I'd pick up the hobby, get myself a telescope. I don't think I'll be doing photography, just observing for a year or two. I'm considering getting a Celestron Nexstar 6SE. Do you think that's a good choice for my first telescope? Any suggestions? Well, funny enough, we do have, if they're still in here, we have another user who has just purchased a 6SE as well. And they had a quick chance to actually get some views. There's a hay vault. They were looking at trying to get some views the other day, so they were looking kind of pleased with that. I think a 6SE is a good one to start out with because you just know the rough approximation. Hey, Ma. Jenny is here. Hello. Hello, Jenny. How you doing, Jen? Which one is your name? Or are you just lurking? Lurking is fine. It's cool if you guys are lurking. There's a lot going on in here. I apologize for missing any chat on here. Planets are... Yes, the alien planet is... are very quiet. Oh, she's at the house. Okay. Hello, Jen. Well, you're born in the 80s and you're turning 40. Yeah, but the 80s were fantastic. But you're not that old, by the way. That's all right. No worries. You're only as old as you feel. And you guys have seen that I am really probably just about maybe 15 years old. And Pepita, I'm from the noughties. It's all good. Don't hold that against anybody there. Yeah, it's the 6SE. Sorry, missed another thing. Cromer Gaming. Cromer, how you doing, man? How's it going? Alright, Lux, I need you to drop some shoutouts for Putzi, Cromer, G4, Security, and anybody else. If you want a shout out, just drop it in there. Just get Lux's attention. They'll drop a shout out there. Another one for the Savvy. Savvy, how you doing? I would complain about the clouds too. Join in. We hate the clouds. Cecilia, any way how you pronounce my name now is just correct. All right, Bob, thank you very much. Good. How about you? Not too bad. Aside from some clouds, that's fine. We had a really exciting night last night. The Mars lander notwithstanding, but we were able to get some really cool images of some awesome targets because we just tried to take as long of exposures as possible last night. We did start off with the Horsehead Nebula, and I thought that one was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we don't often get to spend some time on the Horsehead there, but it's also faint, so I was dealing with trees in the way as well, and the filter wasn't the exact proper filter I'd want to use, but we still got some fantastic. That was a 60-minute exposure. Guiding was perfect. We got really round stars in that shot there. Welcome back, Calf. Good to see you on in here. Mirrored Cat, no worries. Thanks for the lurk. Appreciate that. Thanks for sticking around there. Yeah, good. How are the clouds? How are you today? I'm well. Overall, can't complain. Won't complain. I'll complain about the clouds. Can't complain about my day. It's Friday. Got that Friday feeling going on. Was probably about this close from ordering a takeaway. But sorry, turn that off by accident there. So yes, we are looking at the Horsehead Nebula. You guys are pointing out some things there, so let's give you some information on what we are looking at. So that area down in the lower left corner that you guys have the mouse on here, that's a reflection nebula, and Host Goyo joins the observatory. Thank you very much. Appreciate the follow there. Welcome into the observatory. How are you doing tonight? We are currently looking at the last night's image of the Horsehead Nebula, and you got some fingers pointing on this section here of a reflection nebula. And a takeaway just sounds good. May I advertise Gaia Sky here, the new 2021 version? You can drop it in here. You can also drop it in the Discord as well, because that's always some really cool information that's going to come out of that project. So yeah, this is a bright nebula appearing in the constellation of Orion. That nebula itself is about 1,533 light years from our solar system, and it has a physical diameter of about 4 light years. So what's kind of cool about this one, I guess, in terms of the scale of it, if you were to place our solar system or our sun on one side of this nebula, and then on the other side, 4 light years away, would be our next closest star to us for Proxima Centauri. So that's just a bit of a scale of just how large this little section of nebulosity is. And because the filter that I'm using is a broadband filter, we are able to get a little bit of that, or a fair bit of the red from the hydrogen alpha, but we're also able to get some interesting the reflection nebulae in here as well, because when you are in the narrow band, it really cuts out a lot of the light emitting from these sections there. I'll try to find an earlier image of the Horsehead I took with the narrowband filter, and we can kind of compare and see exactly what we can't see in there. Has anyone found the Where is Waldo planet yet? Planet 9, you mean? I have not discovered it yet. I see the Horsehead. I also, for some reason, it makes me feel more like a seahorse almost. Sorry I can't speak, otherwise my wife thinks that I don't work seriously here in the office. And then she thinks I do then she thinks of hundreds of things I could do for her. No worries. We won't blow your cover. It's alright. It's a palm tree. I see the palm tree as well. You see that thinner area could be the trunk. We have more of the overhanging leaves. I think the more the idea of the Horsehead is taken over there. That's it. Mumble some hmms. Have a stern face. That's perfect. I always in one job I had, if you are walking in a direction with a tool in your hand, be it a screwdriver or a drill or a hammer, and have a bit of a concerned look on your face, management never bothered you. Even if you're just kind of going on break, always have a tool nearby. That will kind of keep them off your back for a while. Depending on your job. I mean, if you're in a job that doesn't require tools, say a bakery, and you're walking around with a drill, looking very concerned, I think they're going to catch on to you. I believe that all wars up to now have been fought over women, either to get them or to have peace from them. Yes. Yes. You know, they do say happy wife, happy life, but it's also happy spouse, happy house. You know. Leaving work, be back later. All right, Cromer, no worries. Appreciate you stopping on by. Look forward to seeing you pop in a little later, if possible. There, we're still looking at many images. I'm going to try to find the our previous image of the Horsehead Nebula in the broad or the narrow band image there. But yeah, I like also that this light we're seeing here, this coma, that is from Alnitak, the brightest star that's just over part of the Orion's belt, just off to the left of this area of nebulosity, and that really starts to blow out an image as well. So I would almost want to get a little closer in with this shot and almost try to crop out any of that light pollution coming out from the one star, or go wide field and just incorporate that star into the shot there. Happy scope, happy bank. It'd be more like happy astrophotographer, very, very sad bank. Love is like fire. You just don't know if it will set your house on fire or your heart on fire. Oh no, you're upsetting Lux. No. Please don't make the mods cry. Alright, let's see if we can find that that other image while we're on this part of the Horsehead Nebula there. It wasn't as extensive of an exposure as this one, because there has been limited time with this target. But let me see if I have that one. It wasn't too long ago when we did shoot it. It's just where we have the that's that there. Should be around here somewhere. There we go. Alright, so if you kind of recall how the last image looked, you know, we have more definition in the kind of, this is probably maybe a 5-minute exposure on this target, or maybe even 3 minutes. It's not a lot of time that we had with this one, but this is taken with our narrowband filter, and you can already see that there is more kind of definition of the clouds back here, but that reflection nebula just isn't as detailed, because a lot of that light kind of that should be coming through is cut out by that sensor there. So really the whole point of the narrowband image is to be able, because you can see a little more of the ridge of the clouds, the hydrogen alpha gas in this section here, rather than the other one. It's more like almost like a flat red wall. So if I could do a side-by-side, that would be a little better there. Sav, you call it freedom, the loneliness. I once heard of a desert project where a few Germans built a Webb telescope. Unfortunately, I can't find the web address. If anyone has it, just let me know. I have not heard of that one. But yeah, if there's some more information on that, always happy to hear some interesting stories. Alistair Riddick. Hello. And marriage is like a tornado. Starts off with a... Alistair, how you doing? Coming in with a force of I was going to say force of a hurricane, but it's more of a tornado. We're going back to Spaceball 1. Good day, good day. Good to see you on in here. So this was our earlier image of the Horsehead Nebula, and just trying to compare it to, say, you can see. Let's go in on this reflection nebula. You can see there isn't a whole lot of detail. Mind you, we are looking at an image that's maybe 5 minutes at most. Whereas our image from last night, you know, you're starting to see some of the definition of the areas of reflection, some of the shadows in the gas and dust in that little area of the nebula. So that way, if you're going to combine your data sets, you're going to be able to pull out more color, and but just get more for reflection nebulas, more detail with a broadband filter. And yeah, that's kind of the next thing we're going to do, is pick up a new broadband filter, one that isn't going to be causing some issues with this one, because you can see those dark areas, that vignetting, that's caused with the filter that I'm using right now, because it's got tape over it with a sticker telling me what filter, what company it's made from. Any updates yet from that science community regarding the big void in the universe we have, in the Boötes void? It's not that Barnard 33 or whatever, is it? That kind of section where it says there's absolutely no data coming from that spot, when it's really just a dark molecular cloud in the visible spectrum. What's your average exposure time for nebulas? It'll vary. I would probably say, I guess average would be 3 minutes. Yeah, probably about 3 minutes. I would let's say average there. For last night's imaging with the Whirlpool Galaxy, I was doing 5-minute exposures on there, and things were turning out. Yeah, these are 5-minute exposures on the Whirlpool Galaxy, and those turned out pretty well. Your music is spoopy. I'm playing Phas in the back. I haven't played Phasmophobia in such a long time. It's all like I'd love to jump back into Phasmophobia. All right, the Orion Nebula. There we go. Ma, show that to Jenny, because this is my favorite nebula. I love every other image that we do take, but this is one that I think is also the rarity of the time that I get with this target. And yes, heck yes, more Phasmophobia for sure. With instruments, can we see the individual stars other than the Milky Way? Yes. We keep that in mind, and we will jump over to an image of M33, the Triangulum Galaxy, and also the Andromeda Galaxy, where we're able to see some stars in those areas. But yeah, the Orion Nebula, 1,500 light years away. It is one of the best targets for beginners in astrophotography, because you don't need a lot of time on this target to start bringing out any details there. But with 10 minutes, that bright section in the middle there, there are 5 stars in that trapezium cluster that are just absolutely illuminating this central area that's forming the majority of this nebula itself. So that really can blow out your image there, but also the integration time, trying to get as much detail, these wispy little bits of nebulosity that are really only going to come out with more exposure time, to be able to tease that out of there rather than just leaving some blank space, like a flying bird through space. Mrs. Canuck has also classified it as it looks like a giant stingray to her as well. But yeah, I think this is it's gorgeous, and just the fact that we can see it with the naked eye as well, not like this, but that you can see it from the ground without even the aid of binoculars, maybe depending on your light pollution there. And yes, we need to get some Phasmo going. I can't wait until when they do an update on that, because you know, a big update, another level or two. Love Phasmophobia. People say it's not scary. I think it's as scary as you're going to make it. I think I've lost the VOD when I first started playing Phasmophobia, and you could probably easily see the fear and nervousness in my eyes in that first encounter in the game, solo as well. After watching Conjuring tonight, I think Phasmo is a must. Possibly so. But getting planets from other galaxies is a tricky job. Yes, I love this image as well. I mean, it's so... yeah, such a little time that we have from my view in the back garden with Orion, because it just doesn't... it's blocked by trees, it's blocked by a house. It's... you know, the way where my scope is parked in the back garden, I don't have the greatest view from there, so... yeah, being able to get Orion is a real treat. Yes, I was on my own. I quickly joined a team, so it wasn't so spooky. Luna, you're doing it solo. Brave soul. So yes, the Orion Nebula, wonderful target there. And Alistair was asking about, you're asking about stars. Yes. Let's back out of here for a second. And we'll go. Let me find a better shot of M33. We can do better. You just play some loud music and it's not scary at all, but then you lose the atmosphere. And I've always said with Phasmophobia that kind of vacuous sound that comes from the inside of a room, you know, it just does wonders for my tinnitus. Anyway, let's go over this one. A little better. So yes, the M33, the Triangulum Galaxy, you know, these stars here are within the galaxy itself. Look around the room behind me when you're playing. With 10 crosses around your neck. That's it. It's creepy. Easy to let it. If you let it get to you, if you enjoy the game, you get into it as much as possible. Let me turn the heat map back on there for you guys for a second there. If there are any other stars, this was a 33-minute exposure of the Triangulum Galaxy that we did, and I wasn't expecting it to be pinpoint stars. So there was a little movement in there overall, but we still have a great deal of structure in the galaxy. And like I said, these stars around here, those are in the Triangulum Galaxy themselves. So it's not every star that we have that we're kind of seeing in these shots are within our galaxy. That we are able to resolve some of the larger stars within other galaxies. Pardon me. And with M33 being such an active galaxy, and it's small, it's the same distance from us as Andromeda, but you can fit that whole galaxy in a single frame. Whereas with the Andromeda Galaxy, that is not the Andromeda Galaxy. You know, it doesn't fit that well into a single frame. At least with the scope and camera that we're sporting. You know, we can get the core of the galaxy, but there's plenty of peripheral, the outer arms of the Andromeda Galaxy that's going to be showing up in you know, with the wider focal lengths. So again, that just kind of shows you how much more massive Andromeda is than M33. The two of them are separated by about 750,000 light years, whereas both of those galaxies are about 2.5 million light years from us. Playing VR is spooky. You wouldn't even do that for $100. I can't imagine how, because at least with when you're playing on the computer, you can kind of look away from the screen. You can take yourself out of the game for a minute. You know, Phasmophobia or any other kind of game notwithstanding, but in VR, you know, you gotta get the headset off. You're embedded in the game there. You know, and freaky times, if anything were to drop in the room that you're in, especially if you're on your own, any other external noises are just going to be that much more spookier. So I would have to do a little bit of a check on some of the stars that we're seeing in this image there, to see if we are seeing anything else. This is Andromeda. This is our one of our nearest galactic neighbors. That's 2.5 million light years away. If you're in a dark enough sky area, you'll be able to see the Andromeda Galaxy. This whole structure spans the width of 6 full moons. So it's a very massive object in the night sky. You can see it with the naked eye, like I said, in dark enough skies, or with some binoculars as well, if you know exactly where you're going to be looking there. But it is really cool to see. It was one of the I've shot this galaxy now at many different focal lengths, from right down to about 18 millimeters up to, at this focal length here, at 980 millimeters. So we have some very up close, very intimate shots of this galaxy, and I wouldn't mind getting a little closer on here as well, just to really start to tease out some of the details of these dust lanes. The Milkdromeda would be the nickname given to us, to the Milky Way. Probably Pablito. Probably.
Let's give him a warm welcome, because his whole career depends on this next important message. Well, I've been thinking.
Probably Pablito, thank you very much for the raid. How are you doing tonight, man? How are you doing? Asher is not too cool. I'm part of the raid, but I accidentally left. Lol. No worries. Asher, I think you're cool. I think you're too cool. Forget the not. Yes, Pablito, how you doing, man? Oh. Degrading the optics right now. Doing good. Awesome. Listen, Matt, thank you for your help as well for that Xbox achievement there. It took a few more brains to get the details all ironed out there, but we have it working. There is a slight chance. Yes, there is a slight chance that if you are redeeming the achievement award, that you could get the rare achievement to pop. So yeah, we got it working there. And a massive shout out there to probably Pablito. Thank you very much for the raid, for bringing in the homies. So I had to put a one minute cooldown on this because I couldn't quite get it to queue up properly. So that also makes it maybe a little more special. So with extensive testing, do confirm it does work. My beard is so nice. Thank you, Luna. I take care of it. I oiled it tonight. I did put some oil in the beard. I did try to make it a little more softer looking tonight. I don't know why. Also because it smells great. I love the smell of this beard oil. Once again, here is the monster. Mojo Jojo! Yes, this image of Andromeda. How many, what's the resolution on here? A little more talk about Uranus. Mojo, how you doing? How you doing, friend? So yes, guys, drop probably Pablito a follow. I think it should be, you gotta change it like definitely Pablito. Get some confidence in there. Chicks dig confidence. It's a cropped version of the full image, and it has 1.5 billion pixels. You need more than a 600 HD television to display the full image. That is cool. Possibly Pablito? Is it in question now? There's a chance it's not me. You got the bopper. That's true. I'm slowly adding some more people to the list there. Also because it's important for just more than me to be able to shout people out, and because I don't have any fancy things going on there. The shout outs. You guys know who to shout out. You guys know who's cool. Sebte. They're cool. How you doing, dude? Chick magnet confidence. Oh, more rain. Got stuff like this. Doing good. Excellent. Excellent. We don't want rain. We want clear skies. I think that's got to be another thing I got to do. Have something with clearing skies. Although what I want to work on this weekend is an interesting little bit of code, is to save our screenshots. These images that we're saving over here on the to my left, your right. On my left you'll find my right. On my right you'll find my left. Is our screenshots of our targets that we do take, but I'm saving them to the PC. So then I have to manually upload them to the Discord server. And I'm not exactly always diligent on doing that. So what I'm going to do this weekend is there is a code that you can write up with Leorn board where it'll take a screenshot and then it'll post it to Discord. So I think that's going to be a little fun thing to work on there. So that we can enjoy these images. We'll also be able to just drop them on the Discord, and then you guys can kind of look at it. We have a nice catalog of the images rather than me also scrolling through everything in here and trying to find some of our latest images. Although looking at some of the galaxies in the past couple of weeks with this filter has been incredibly rewarding, especially looking at this one, at the Whirlpool Galaxy. I still love this one. This is a fantastic image from last night. Wherever I look at astronomical pictures, they remind me of fractals because they're just so intricate. Well, look at that link that Lux had posted just up there a little a few lines ago. It is high resolution. You just kind of go on forever, almost. It feels. auto Discord uploader. It just scans a folder and uploads to Discord. And that's what I want to have it do there. So yeah, this image of the Whirlpool Galaxy, it's a screenshot, so it's not the highest of resolution, although it depends on how you're looking at it on your screens there. But yeah, I'll be processing that one tomorrow night, because I did take 32 5-minute exposures on the Galaxy after the stream ended last night. So taking some time to stay up a little later, well worth it, to be able to get an image that we're processing pretty quick. That we've had the experience with it earlier on in the evening, or yesterday, sorry, looking at live, and then we are able to view it now. To view the processed image tomorrow and see what we can kind of get out of there. And I will have to kind of do a further process on the image, because I can take hours and hours to get these images to kind of come out there. So hopefully 2.5 hours is going to be all right. Alistair's not cool. It's so laggy on my phone. Oh no, I do know I do have the transcoding that has propped up on here, so it should be able to drop in some quality. Or is that just with your? Oh, that's with the 4K image. Good gravy. Okay, sorry, I thought it was in reference to the stream. Like, oh no, I tried to make sure that we had the transcoding set on this stream. So I did start and stop the stream a couple of times before it did pop up there. Before it was just going out at 1080 60. There was no options, so I had to go back there. So yeah, that's cool. That is bananas. That's holy potatoes. Look at that. So yeah, no, there's no way that I'm going to get this image. But yeah, and it's also like, you're not looking at noise on this either. Those are still more stars. There's a globular cluster, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I usually say globular. Quality dropping is working. Puts me down to 180. How far can we go on here? Yeah, so it's not noise that you're looking at. These are stars within the Andromeda Galaxy. That's absolutely incredible. Are there any nebulae that we can kind of peek in on there? Yeah, I'm definitely going to be hanging around on this image for quite a while. There's some open clusters, almost like the Pleiades, with some of these stars going through the dust, illuminating the areas around it there. That's really cool. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to band together. Now hear me out here, this is very important. And we were going to buy the Hubble Space Telescope and just use it as our own. Alright, just this little group. We will own the Hubble Space Telescope. I could probably put in about 20 quid. So we'll start from there. We'll put in a bid. And we'll buy the Hubble Space Telescope. Certainly answered your question about extragalactic stars. There you go. With a big telescope, we are able to resolve stars within another galaxy, and that is absolutely fantastic to see. And I could hang out around on that image for quite a while. 3090 is doing fine, don't you worry. Well, everything seems to be holding up. Everything has been running really, really good now. And I was always disappointed when things would kind of grind to a halt, and even internet cutting out. So we have some money towards Hubble. That's good. Sebte, thank you. Appreciate the bits. So what's happened? What are we looking at? You're looking at me in the infrared end of the spectrum. This is still a very cheap channel point reward, because I'm not sure if it's stable and reliable enough. It is part of a series. There will be some free channel point rewards coming up where we can look at me in different representations of areas of the visible spectrum. This one is an actual infrared vision of me, so my black t-shirt looks white. I also don't know how well it's synced up. I still haven't tried that to see how well it looks there. But it's I'm still working with the position of it. The other one worked out a little better, where it was more of a where it turned into a bit of a thought cam, and however that involves like a whole bunch of the tripod being right in front of my face and also in front of the screen. I don't mind things being in front of my face, but that would also be blocking the camera and the monitor as well. So I have to figure out where I can have this. You have a very cheap viewer here, so that's welcome. No worries. Hey, listen, again, just hanging out is contribution enough. You know, there's never any obligation for you guys to put any money in. I always appreciate it. I always like every little bit. You guys are fantastic. You know, it's never imagined where things are going to be this far into streaming, and you know, I am immensely grateful for all the support you guys have been giving, and you guys kind of hanging around here and listening to me ramble on about space, and also asking the questions, because that's helping me as well. Because if I don't know what the answer is, that gives me another drive to go check out something else. Let's get some more information. Let's make sure that I am giving you guys, the proper answers, proper details on what we're looking at here. Maybe if you trim your beard. No. Wait, maybe if I trim my beard, what? Wait, hang on a second. What are we talking about here? But yeah, it's what I like to do. I enjoy talking about space. I'm glad you guys are going to be hanging out. Sebte, be careful. My mom will fight you. Oh, okay. You'll buy the Hubble. Where are the scissors? I'll take off just a little bit. Just that much. That's enough. It's all right, Seb. It's okay. We're in England. She's in Canada. I don't think she can reach that far. Although I wouldn't risk it. Actually, do you know if astronomical bodies... Hang on, you've added make self-similar fractals or specific curves. Offhand, no. I'm trying to think about what I've recently seen. No, but I would be interested in seeing maybe some other comparisons about that. Would look into that for a little further. Now, it's not so much to do with fractals, but you do see in the spiral galaxies. Like let's look at M51 right now, which can seem very much like it's fairly even. Like the main galaxy itself, M51, it has a fairly symmetrical spiral system, galactically speaking. But then again, there are other, this smaller galaxy that is going to start to perturb some of the structure of this galaxy as it, as the further interactions are going to occur. But yeah, I think there's some other objects that you can look at in the night sky that are very symmetrical, where the golden ratio can come into play there. It should be interesting to explore a little farther there, especially even like artistically viewing these images. Like I did explore the Orion Nebula in a bit of an artistic way. You know, not so much dealing with the golden ratio. But you know, looking at it in terms of a low resolution, high polygon or low polygon kind of view of the nebula itself. I'm not really looking too much into the golden ratio there, but there can be art in space. Mothers have their ways, just don't mess with them. Seb, yes, that's fair enough. Internet says Hubble costs 1.5 billion. Well, say we're getting there. Seb dropped 10 bits. We're on our way. Maybe we'll hold off on buying the filter, and we'll put that money towards the Hubble Space Telescope. Actually, maybe I'll put that up there as a joke. Just a funny thing. You know. Raising money for Hubble, 1.5 billion. All right, every now and then that's going to pop up. Hubble Fund. Just for fun. I'll make it look in a way that it is totally for fun. But yeah, there are some other targets that I want to look at. I really wanted to image the Horsehead Nebula. I think that would kind of look really, really interesting with this treatment. So if we were to look over in Stellarium, I mean, I could maybe use this image, but that's not the point. I want to be able to take the image. So if I were to do that low polygon version with the Horsehead Nebula, I think that would look pretty cool as well. But I want to be able to image this area. However, M20 isn't exactly available to me, so I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to bide my time on that there. And yeah, be able to give the Horsehead Nebula the proper treatment I want to give it there. When space holidays take off, are you going? Probably not. No, I don't know. No, I would. No. It would be nice to get a new one, but the Voldemort telescope instead of a 30-year-old Hubble, but the price tag jumps to 10 billion. Yeah, that budget is going crazy. Capture R45. Capture, how you doing? How's it going tonight? Welcome on into the observatory. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. How you doing? Lux, thank you for the lurk. No worries. Nebulae are absolutely beautiful. I agree with that. And I think it's there's no shortage of different nebulae that we can look at, from emission to reflection to planetary. I always enjoy looking at the Rosette Nebula, and some people were saying there's the possibility that I am loving the Rosette a little more than Orion. It's only partially true. I mean, so what about this? We want the Rosette Nebula. It's totally different from the shape of Orion. Capture, glad you found your stream. Well, glad you came on in tonight. Good to have you in here with us. We usually take live images of the night sky, but however, being in the east of England, and it being England, we're covered in cloud tonight. Last night we had some clear skies for quite a while, so we were doing some live imaging, and we do have some images that we'll be processing tomorrow night on stream. But we will be looking at some security. Thank you. Thank you very much for the gifted sub to Capture 45. Appreciate that. Asher is not too cool. Receiving another gifted sub. Security, what are you doing?
Let's
Thank
give him
you.
a warm welcome because his whole career depends on this next important message. Well, I've been...
Security, thank you. Gifted sub to Alistair Riddick. Thank you. To Bubba Zelnik. There you go, Ma. You got a sub to the channel. Thank you very much, Security. And to probably Pablito. That's rolling in. Security, thank you so much. Dude. Asher, I'm obligated to follow now. Well, it's only mildly polite, right? Security, thank you. Dude, you're tremendous. Did someone call security? Yes, give him a shout out. There we go. Security, thank you so much for those gifted subs. Probably Pablito, Bubba Zelnik, my mother. Alistair Riddick. Asher is not too cool. Capture 45, newest member to the observatory, getting a gifted sub as well. Appreciate that so much. Tremendous. You guys are awesome. But yeah, check out Security Live. Check him out. Click on that link. Give him a follow. He streams at ungodly hours for me, but whenever I do have the chance, I will jump in on his streams. Whether he's doing some VR, whether he's talking about some ethical hacking, trying to find some Bitcoin on the site. It's always a very eye-opening experience with Security's channel there. Right, we were going on about the love of nebulae, of the Rosette Nebula. And right now, because we're largely looking out at the where's that song? Everything is awesome. It's probably labeled in the DMCA. The DMCA folders. And I'm not seeing that one. Did you see the Perseverance dangling from the sky camera? We did. We did. That was so cool. I'm gonna go back to that because that is incredible. Because yes, how awesome is that? How incredible is that shot there? You know, for earlier on, like a lot of the space probes that were going up there, you know, that were being sent out, weren't exactly going to be, didn't have like cameras for this type of imaging. It was mainly just for the scientific experiments, get the science. And a lot of these, because weight costs money. A camera going on a probe that doesn't need a camera is going to cost extra money, and that money, that's weight could be reserved for putting scientific measurement instruments on the satellites there. So to have more of the probes, more equipment going out there with cameras, with high resolution, being able to bring these images back to us. It's fantastic to be able to see this stuff. You know, and it's just, it is weird. Like, oh, cool. Here's a shot of the rover, but we're looking at a shot of the rover on Mars, above the surface of Mars. You know, just before it's landing. So that is absolutely incredible what they're putting cameras to purpose on here. And again, to look at the surface of Mars, and you know, some of it can look remarkably like Earth, but knowing that's another planet 207 million kilometers away. You know, blown away by that most times. Pops is good, yes. And Jenny, if you're still there, thank you very much for stopping by, checking up on my parents. Appreciate that. I don't know, the curvature can be. Oh no, security's getting into that too. G4 will be all over that as well. No, yeah, no timeouts. He's fine. He gets some security gets leniency at the moment. I think it's really cool. And then this shot of the probe landing. This was the descent stage holding Perseverance, falling through the Martian atmosphere as seen through that's the new that's the University of Arizona's. The high resolution imaging science experiment. The UA high rise. Getting that shot of the rover being dropped in there through the atmosphere. That is really cool. So yeah, somebody was asking, I can't remember who it was, I apologize, were we going to see the probe from one of the Mars orbiters? And there we go. We did see it. We did get that image coming through. Dustin, welcome back. Good to see you back in here. The only thing that's flat are those rover tires. No flat tires. They've improved those the wheels as well on this one. Much more, supposed to be much more durable. Than the previous rover's tires. And also, over 2 million people watching the YouTube stream as well. That was amazing. It was about, what, 2.1, 2.2 when it kind of topped out there. So that's also really, really cool to see more people being interested in space. They filmed it on the coast of some beach. It's a very interesting looking beach. Yes, Lux, you're mentioning about the I'd have to go into mod view. I was going to time out the timeouters. Sharpen my hammer as well. Yes, the PP Nebula. Well, it doesn't look like it from this angle. We are looking at just the tip, just the Horsehead Nebula portion of the Heart Nebula complex. So even if you are to drop a Heart Nebula emote, you'll see that tiny little tip in the lower right portion. You know, that is that's the section that we're looking at here. So that teeny tiny portion, that little bit right there of the Heart Nebula, that's this. Alright, you're going to turn in. No worries, Lux. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming on in there tonight. We look forward to seeing you on the next stream. We'll be back tomorrow night. We're doing some image processing of M51 and or the moon. We'll see which one is going to turn out there. I am a robot. Hashtag confirmed. There you go. Power down. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Thank you very much for your assistance tonight with the shoutouts and everything. You are relieved of your modly duties. For now. Is that an end code for binary? I'm like trying to quickly look it up there. Sleep mode. There you go. Have a good snooze there, Lux. Still no rare achievements popped yet. It does work. It does occur. Yeah, you know, I just did a random. All right. Trying to think. I keep thinking back to like Futurama with Bender with his code with 0111 011 01111 0111. And I might have said something absolutely vulgar in binary, and I do apologize to any robots that are listening. I really kind of do. So what is the weather? Is it going to improve? Because I know tomorrow was still looking to was flip-flopping back and forth between any kind of decent weather. Tomorrow night. Okay, tomorrow night we're possibly looking at a chance of clearer skies earlier in the evening. Like right at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So there is a chance that might improve. Maybe if it kind of pushes back a little bit, maybe we can get a few hours, or a couple hours at least, of some imaging. And then we'll see where that goes from there. If it does, we'll kind of kick things off a little earlier on a Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon, depending where you guys are hanging around. So that would be the plan for tomorrow. Midweek, there is a chance of some midweek imaging time. We'll keep an eye out on that. Is it possible with a commercial telescope to look at the sun and observe solar flares with obvious safety precautions like a solar filter? Yes, it is. It is incredibly possible. It is wonderfully amazing to look at. I had a solar filter on my telescope. My first telescope I had. It's just a white solar filter. However, I didn't spend a lot of time using it, it was also kind of during solar minimum. And there was almost very little to see on the sun. Let me bring that up there. So this was my image of the sun. I did put a bit of a color hue on it because it just comes out white. That's the only light that comes through the filter there. And basically our sun is white. It is a white star. It's just that we're more used to kind of seeing it at sunset when it's kind of coming through lower in the atmosphere and it has that orangey kind of tint to it. But our star is white. In my former life of radio communications, we always talked about solar forecasts and such because those solar storms would interfere with the equipment. So like you can see it's just a couple of sunspots, a sparse amount on there, and those, if you're kind of looking at it if they're on like the edge, if you're kind of seeing it just kind of coming around the horn there, you would see a solar prominence or around the edges there. But these were pretty much the only images. Those are the filters I used. There's a shot of the old scope as well. That was my first telescope, the Celestron Nexstar 127 SLT. It did the job. It worked out really well. But yeah, that's the solar filter I had on there. But there are other ones that are designed. There are the PSTs, the personal solar telescopes, which will see a little farther down into the sun, past the photosphere. We'll look at it, the sun in hydrogen alpha, and you can see a lot more of the granulation in the sun with those scopes. And a filter for something like this that I had set up on there, the filter itself was about 25 pounds, and that fit over the scope. The solar film is relatively, if you don't compare it to a piece of paper, it's relatively cheap to be able to look at the sun. And however, it's more expensive if you're going to look at it in hydrogen alpha, in the more kind of interesting wavelengths where you're going to see more of those solar prominences kind of kick off on the sun there. Those are going to be around, I think looking at it, starting around like 1,700 pounds for those scopes. So it is a bit of an investment. And on the flip side, the views that you're going to get out of there is very worth it. There is another streamer, Econ Greg, and I will have to keep shouting him out. He does a lot of solar imaging. Econ Greg, he is my inspiration for this channel as well. Where I was, I saw what he was doing, and I wanted to try and share the night sky as well. He does a lot of solar imaging. He'll do night sky imaging as well. And he has some tremendous views of the sun. G is 2 dot. G2 dot, how you doing? How is G dot? Welcome on into the observatory. Thank you for the follow. We're just kind of looking back at some previous images. This is my first and almost only image of the sun. Just followed him. Thanks for the info. Awesome. Yes, Greg he's tremendous. He has a fantastic following. He's recently made partner on Twitch, which is amazing for an astronomy channel. He's been doing this for about a couple of years now, and he had a couple failed attempts at making partner, but he was finally approved. And that was a really fun stream to be part of when he announced that purple check mark on his channel, because I've been with his channel for about, how long have we been doing this one? Since about September-ish. I've been on his channel. But yeah, he's had quite a large following for quite a while. And yeah, to see him achieve that milestone on Twitch with an astronomy channel is fantastic. Doing good, thank you. Looks fun. Thank you. We try to have some fun on this channel. when we are under clouds, it's more of how much can we complain about the clouds, and always make sure that we have quite the collection of images that we have shot in the past, so we can kind of look back and reminisce on, remember when we didn't have clouds, remember clear skies, those were great. What we're looking at here, this is the Horsehead Nebula. This is part of the Heart Nebula complex, which is a much larger area of the night sky. We have imaged the Heart Nebula as a whole, or sorry, we processed the Heart Nebula as a whole. We've imaged different pieces of the Heart Nebula, and just to kind of give you a example of what we're looking at here, this little part here is that tip in the upper left. So that is the whole nebulous complex that this little area belongs to there. So these are the kind of images we like to try to get on this channel. Yeah, we'll take a look at some older images there, and yeah, try to do some. We processed this on the channel as well. So we started from a stacked image, because when you're doing astrophotography, you want to be able to take as many images as possible. When you do a single image, you know, you're dealing with a lot of noise, and it's just not as clear. The Horsehead Nebula is nice and bright as well, so it does work out. So we are able to get some nice details in these shots. But you know, the more time you can put into an astro image, the better image you're going to end up with once you're finished your processing. But we will take 10-minute images of the night sky, look at some interesting areas, and just share them with you guys and talk about what it is that we're looking at here. So that's what we like to do on this channel. And when we are looking at some of these images, we do have these options. If you are on a PC, you can click the screen on here. You can use the interactive heat map, and your little cursor will move around on the screen there. So if there is something interesting we're looking at, you know, you guys can click and point out different areas there. We can try to get some information on what we're looking at. Also, conversely, those who are perpetually 12 years old will pick my nose. So that's just the risk I'm willing to take. I hope and wish schools nowadays did what one of the teachers in elementary school did when I was there. He cleared his room out and had this inflatable dome with a projector and would show us constellations and help inspire me to enjoy space. But imagine what you could do with today's tech, maybe get some different galaxies. I mean, augmented reality would be is an option there. I mean, I am going to also, in the coming weeks, get the updated space engine on here, so we can take some really detailed tours of the universe, and you know, travel towards these other galaxies, nebulae, different targets that we've been looking at there, and just get a close-up look and see just how far away things are. I think a little bit of a interesting / boring little trip. There are videos on YouTube about it. Is to start at the sun, travel at the speed of light till we get to Earth. Traveling at 299 million meters per second. It's going to be, as fast as that is, it's going to feel excruciatingly slow. So I think that'll be kind of an interesting journey. We'll try to see if we can kind of get the planets to align within the simulator as well, so we can kind of go by Mercury, pass by Venus, end up at Earth, and maybe kind of go on towards Mars, just to kind of get an idea of what it is, how far these distances are. You know, there are some games out there that they're going to mildly break the laws of physics, so that, you know, entertainingly, you're going to be going somewhere interesting. You're going to get there quicker. Whereas if you were to travel at the speed of light in the game, it's going to be mildly, yes, well, it will be, yes, not as entertaining. You wouldn't be able to change at all if you moved at the speed of light relative to yourself, at least. I mean, essentially, if we're moving at the speed of light, you are no longer a human. We are particles. It would just be, yeah, there would be no light. It would just be a solid mass in front. If, I always think about it, like weird things, if you could travel at the speed of light, but still being able to maintain your molecular integrity, traveling to these objects, you know, would we see? Let's say we're traveling towards the Pillars of Creation. We're going towards M16, and that is 6,500 light years away. You know, and it has been. You know, they figure that what has as far away as that is, the mass would be infinitely large as well. Yet our mass would greatly increase. But, you know, if let's say we're traveling towards the Pillars of Creation, you know, 6,500 light years away, these structures that we're seeing now most likely do not exist anymore, because these are the kind of the cooled off areas that have been blown away by the stellar evolution in this nebula. So if we were to kind of travel towards them, would we watch them kind of wither away much quicker? You know, would we see that movement out in space? Is it the Horsehead Nebula or Horsehead Nebula Get Out? Out! Damn it. Alright, you can have that one. Defense, you'd redshift, so you wouldn't be traveling at the speed of light. That's saying you're not moving at the speed of light anymore, though. Yes. But I'm saying let's put this at like suspend a fair amount of physics. A little space dad joke for you. The Horsehead Nebula is massive. This is not a little space joke. This is measured in light years. That joke. No, that got me. So yes, if we could theoretically travel, if we could hypothetically travel faster than the speed of light, maintain our composition, you know, going towards these objects in outer space, would we, you know, will we see them? Will we see them evolve over the course of our journey? How interesting would that be to see that that occur? Let's, you know, go on with Cosmos, with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Carl Sagan's spaceship Earth. You know, we're able to violate some laws of physics to be able to achieve interesting views, interesting science. I think that would be the kind of the vehicle that we would use to be able to see these sites. There we go. Speaking of the Horsehead Nebula, one of our first shots of that there. I think this was a 3-minute image. It is very, very dim. All attack is barely causing any kind of interference. Just more of a almost like an amp glow look onto the left side of this image there. Looking there. What if the different galaxies are nothing more than alternate universes of our current universe? Like if you made a decision, the other galaxies would be offshoots of each choice we made. which galaxy would be the darkest timeline, do you think? If you had to pick. Because I think, you know, every time you're going to make a decision, you are creating alternate timelines. Because in one option you've done this, and in another option you've done that. There was a funny, not an animation, it was just a funny skit of somebody who invented time travel. But the thing was that he never, every time he hit the button to reset the clock and go back 5 minutes, yeah, that's what it was, he only go back 5 minutes at a time. But every time he went back, he created another timeline. So after he hit the button, that person ceased to be, and then he existed in another timeline. I can't remember the name of the thing at all. Probably check maybe like 5-Minute Time Traveler on YouTube. That was a way of kind of showing different ways of altering, of venturing down different timelines there. Good question. I'm not familiar with all, very few, in fact, more near space. Future Man is the name of your show. Would that be it? Would that be the thing that I saw? Whoop. Alright, let me rip my microphone. I was very close to purchasing a microphone that doesn't have to clip on me and that is able to perform a little better. I don't think the sound overall is too bad. However, it's the a bit of the inconvenience with the lav mic, which is basically the only microphone I have. For some reason I can't even connect it to the camera. It doesn't even work that way. I don't know why. I mean, I've tried all sorts of different connections, all sorts of different plugs to get it to work, which is why I have to offset the audio on here, because the DSLR doesn't match up with the PC, and it's not so much that streaming can be frustrating. It's just that I would like everything to work exactly as intended without having to faff about with tons of settings. You know, I figure that's not too much to ask, right? Right? Right. But other than that, everything seems to be working out all right there. Sergio! Hello, do I believe in extraterrestrial life? This question comes up so often. And it's one of those things until we know for sure. I would like to hope that there may be something else out there. We've always posed the question, you know, would you want to know 100% yes or no, is there other life in the universe? I mean, it just seems that as, you know, as rare as this occurrence of life seems to be, you know, why wouldn't nature take it that one step further and just make life impossible? So yeah, the amount of everything that's out there, you know, is there another me? Well, something not like a parallel universe me, but is there another person doing something like this? Does this kind of technology exist in other galaxies? Because everything is so far away, you know, we're not able to get these signals. We're not able to. We're getting everything millions of light years behind schedule. You know, our bubble is only extending about 250 light years with our information going out there. So, you know, in all that time, we haven't gone out that far, but we are. Yeah, it's ridiculously large, and even just the whole galaxy itself. I mean, you know, even in our galaxy, you know, we're still 25,000 light years from the center of the galaxy, or possibly a little closer with with some updated measurements. But you know, it's still picking up these signatures. Yeah, to what degree? I don't know. But there almost has to be something else out there. Does the universe have a plane of symmetry, not including how matter might be different on plane or another? Basically, does its shape have one? Does the universe have a plane of symmetry? I don't know. I do not know. I do not even have an answer on that one. Yes, life not like we are, but more adapted to each environment. I mean, like the options are to start looking out towards like the other moons, where you're going to have like those warmer kind of the subterranean networks of underground water with some of the moons, where it could potentially have some kind of life under there. Simple microorganisms. Is it expansion dependent or on the mass inside of it? So meaning I'm almost there with how I want to try to understand what you're saying there. Meaning gravity doesn't affect how it expands. No, because thinking about the rate of expansion, Hubble constant, where we are from our vantage point, everything is kind of moving away from us, but from their vantage point, everything is moving away from them. So, I mean, the universe itself is a perfect sphere as well. Like everything, that's what things are going to do in space. So whether to say that everything is kind of moving along like this, a single plane, if that's what I'm understanding there. No, I'm liking where this is going, and I want to be able to gain some more insight on this. I do write stuff down. Thinking that's an ellipse. Graphs I saw a while ago probably made like that. I know when you look at the map of the cosmic microwave background, it's kind of looking at that all-encompassing view of that's like your 360 degree view, and so it's just you're looking at a flattened kind of sphere. So yeah, looking at anything that's out in space that is molten, it's going to a perfect sphere is going to have that least amount of surface area. So maybe there might be some areas of higher concentration of matter. So it is going to be largely a sphere. I mean, universally speaking, it would be perfect. Looking at Earth, if you were to have harking back to with Neil deGrasse Tyson mentioning about if you were to actually have a massive hand and running it across Earth, it would feel as smooth as a cue ball, despite how much of the distance from it's only about a dozen miles from the Marianas Trench to the top of Everest. So even look at a billiard ball close up, you can see like pits and valleys on there, but you hold it in your hand, it's very smooth. We have to break free from the old chains in order to be able to go new ways. Moving in space is not the key. We need to have like the Planet Express ship and have space move around us. That's the technology we need. But we need to embrace some science fiction every now and then and make it science fact. Though if it's a perfect sphere, it has infinite planes of symmetry. It's more than 3 dimensions, though. I can't put that into a flat dimension. I mean, because it's going to be, the way how everything's being measured, it is constantly expanding. So there is the time factor that you have to put into things, but I'm liking where these thoughts are going. I like it. It's kind of moving a little bit away from what were the pretty images of space and starting to get into some freaky numbers and unimaginable scales. Hey, Calf. How are you? What is the good word with you, sir? I'm thinking about doing research on the Planck distance and what it means for music, and if music really is limited due to the conservation of energy. So, meaning that over the distances it is going to change. You're not going to be hearing exactly what it should be. Is that what I'm getting from that there? I think it's interesting and funny since someone else is actually going to try and make all possible theoretical music. That's an interesting way of looking at music, if I'm understanding you right there. That is kind of cool. I mean, if you can study theoretical music, it'd be pretty interesting. It might be hard to explain, but because there's a limit to the distance of measurement, we can't have perfect waves of sound. There was an episode of Voyager, and they were dealing with a planet that was farther back in time, but the closer things got to them, they changed. They were able to kind of travel through time on that planet, so a lot of the signals they were getting were coming out garbled. But really, it was because they were traveling through space faster. I don't know if that's making sense, but I'm kind of getting that from what you mean there, so that there is some of the wavelengths are too long. You can't discern exactly what's coming out there. Headshot Specialist, hello! How are you doing tonight? Good to see you on in here. What is the good word? We are looking at some old images. I say old. Well, technically they are old. They're thousands of light years old. But we were imaging the night sky last night, and however, we are under cloud coverage right now, and we got some high winds going on. So the telescope is parked tonight, which is a bit of a bummer because I like. They hit the wrong transition. I like nothing more than to share the night sky of with you guys here. Did you see the video from Mars? Is there a new video from more recent than yesterday? We were looking at some of the images that were sent back on of the lander coming in from the sky crane. But we did watch the landing last night. We did have that NASA feed on stream. Yeah, we were looking at that earlier. That is an awesome shot of the latest Mars rover. Just a few meters above the ground. And because there is also, hard to explain because of the limited distance measurement can't be perfect waves of sound, and because there's also a limit to energy due to the conservation of energy, there's also limited music. I'm talking about how they can't be made more short and precise, i.e. they aren't Euclidean. Yes, I'd be interested to hear more about that. That sounds very interesting. There you go. Dustin's interested as well. He's speaking his language, dealing more in the high frequency. Yeah, but we did watch the landing come in. We saw the visualization from the data that was being sent back last night from NASA. That was very exciting there. Celtic Raven! Off to finish some stuff with the kids. Got you in the background though, and yes, that landing was so textbook. That was, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better last night. But thank you so much for popping in there. Good to see you. Hope you've been doing well. Good to catch you in on some other streams there as well. Seeing you around the Twitchverse. I was gonna say Twitterverse. This is not we are purple. This is not blue. Yeah, I thought you were mentioning that there was some new video that was like recently posted there. Because I think there's going to be a whole slew of data that's going to be coming out, and I think it's going to be really exciting. There was a post, a link posted that was going to show some of the raw images coming in from the Mars rover. I'm going to drop that back in here so we can see. Rocks you. We will rocks you. How's it going? So yeah, that's the link to that those raw images from Mars there, so we can kind of see how often that's going to be updated there. There's some cool data. Rocks you. How's it going? Welcome on into the observatory. Hello, first time here. Hopefully it's not the last. Welcome on in. My name is Tom. I'm the Astro Canuck. Usually, we like to take live images of the night sky. However, we are under clouds here in the east of England, so it's a little difficult. This would be astronomy on hard mode for sure. But we do have plenty of images that we have looked at, that we have shot over the past few months now. We have quite a collection that's grown. And yeah, just kind of generally talking about astronomy, astrophotography, theoretical music as well. It's kind of cropped up there. All sorts of interesting topics have been coming around tonight. Still buzzing from the Mars Perseverance rover landing yesterday. You know, just a little over 24 hours ago, the latest rover successfully landed on the red planet. So we are eagerly awaiting more data coming out there, which is always interesting to see, because looking at another planet, it's just awe-inspiring. An old Jewish joke. Yahweh, stop playing with your universe. Dinner's ready. Oy vey. Alright, sounds good. I'm going to lurk. No worries, Roxy. Appreciate the lurk. You can hang around for a little bit there. Whether you guys are sticking around with us for a short time or a long time, I do appreciate it. You guys are showing some amazing support, and just the interest that you guys are showing with the channel, with space. I'm happy to share these experiences with you guys. And you know, when we are able to simulcast anything interesting going on in space exploration, happy to be doing that alongside what we're presenting here. There are some broadcasts, like the things from the NASA Space Flight Center. Those you're not allowed to rebroadcast those at all, without like essentially express written consent, or even being close friends with Das Valdez would be a benefit there. So we can't do those, but I would happily direct you guys to any other channels. Those who are not familiar with EJ, with the Eric Johnson Space Administration, I'm going to drop a shout out for him as well, because he does some amazing space coverage, a wealth of knowledge. He also plays some games. He plays a lot more games than I do. I've kind of strayed away from the gaming side of things. Mildly thinking about having just a separate gaming channel, but I think that's just going to come with more headaches than it's going to be worth. I enjoy doing this. I love talking about astrophotography and astronomy and everything else that kind of comes up in between. You know, I enjoy a peanut butter and jam sandwich. How about you? Random, I know. I was just thinking about that. But yes, we are, what are we at here? 20 to 12. It's not too bad. Not too bad. So kind of some future plans that I have for the channel is a little more implementation of Universe Sandbox. Like I said, there has been an upgrade to the whole system here. So there is some migration growing pains that are occurring. But I do have a lot of the components working within our system now. So now it's more of just more experimentation, trying to get the most out of this channel and offer as much interaction as well. So when we do have some interesting images on the kind of cropping up here, let's switch over here. You know, those of you who are on PC, we have the heat map option. So if you're seeing what is this little dot that you have when you hover over my screen, you are able to click your screen. You can point to different objects on your screen. I will see it. You will see it. You'll see your little cursor bobbing up and down there. And that's just to kind of point out anything that we're looking at on the channel, just in case there's something that I may not be describing, I may not even be noticing on here that you guys want some more information on. So that's one of the interactive elements that we have on the channel here. So you can turn that off for now. That is also a channel point reward, so you guys can activate that for at least 30 seconds. I'll see about if I'm going to increase it to a minute or what. But just to give you guys an idea of what we like to do on here. Now, I think what I'm probably going to do is slowly wrap things up tonight, because I barely got any sleep, and I think it is minorly imperative to be able to get a little sleep and refresh, because I don't want to be burnt out. Sounds great. Thanks for the personal introduction. I want you guys. I want to see you guys. I want to see these names popping up again. And if I can show you something interesting, show you something cool in the night sky, that'll make you want to come back to see more. The seasons in the night sky change just like the seasons on the ground. They are going right now. The kind of the main theme is galaxies. We are looking largely at galactic structures in the night sky. These are the targets that we're going to be able to look at. This one here, M51, which was our last shot of the night last night, the Whirlpool Galaxy. That's a fantastic shot. I love this one so much. This galaxy is absolutely incredible to look at. So we will be processing this one tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. We'll kind of go back to our regular time slot. Tonight was a little late. I do apologize for the bit of a late start there. So yeah, we'll process this one tomorrow night, and maybe even look at the moon. See, did I have that one queued up on there? No, of course not. There we go. We had our moon from the other night as well, or sorry, the other week. So we'll process that, see if we can get some sharper images of our nearest low density satellite. Yeah, take a look at some cool things, and just kind of I'll probably do a little bit of a I want to say unorthodox stacking method for the moon. We'll see how that one turns out there. Maybe it'll be good, maybe not. We don't know. We will see that tomorrow night. The ETs don't sleep. But this TAC does. Lady Coco, happy to have you on in here. Good to see you getting a. You got that subscriber badge on there as well. So yes, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, on the east coast of the United States, in North America. It's going to be about 3 p.m. It'll be an afternoon for you guys. Depending on certain sky conditions, we may start a little earlier. Those who are on the Discord, I will drop a notification on there, and I'll also pop it up on Twitter. Those are the kind of two main places where we're going to get kind of some solid information of when things are going to go live. If not, check the schedule on the Twitch channel, because that is going to change weekly. I almost didn't stream tonight, but I noticed I had a stream scheduled. So you know, let's jump in. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about the night sky. Let's moan about the clouds. So I want to thank you guys for sticking around tonight. I want to thank Security Live for the gifted subs, the boatload of gifted subs. Sebte for the bits dropped in. Luna for the gifted subs and the resub herself as well. Mirrored Cat, Lady Coco subscribing to the channel as well. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Always a joy to be hanging out with you guys. Yeah, apologies for a little bit of a short stream tonight, but I think it is time to get a little bit of a snooze, be refreshed, and yeah, be at my full potential for you guys, because I do not like to half-ass things when it comes to astrophotography, astronomy, and just being able to present you guys some fun content and some interesting things to see in the night sky. So let us take a quick look. Who can I send you guys off to? Who is still streaming? Who is streaming tonight? Actually, let me take a look. I am in... do we have anyone in the photography section? We have two people. Myself and a New York City Timescape, which is a always-on channel. Alright. Alright, let's look to the outer edge. Hopefully we can catch you tomorrow. Roxy, am I saying it right? Because I always butcher names. I always butcher those names. So I would appreciate if you guys are going to stick around for the raid. For those of you who are a subscriber, raid 1 can be the your raid message, or you can make up your own. That is totally fine. Raid 2, for those who are not subscribed to the channel, that is all right. That is never a requirement. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Roxy, that's right. Excellent. Good. Get it. Within a Foot, thank you so much. Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. We are going to send you guys over to... Who we got going on here? Who is... Let's see, I have not rated this person yet. They are a Canadian. They are a fellow Canadian. They're playing Super Mario World right now. Let's do some gaming. Let's send you guys over there. Hang out with Captain Canuck 87. There we go. He is going. He's just starting off on his stream. So yes, thank you guys so much for sticking around. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you learned some interesting things. You guys have taught me some interesting stuff as well, and I have some research to do. Check out Theoretical Music, all the things you're talking about there. Astrobeard, thank you very much for coming in. Roxy, thank you very much for jumping in really quick and sticking around. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. We will be back 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I have been Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to share the universe. Have a very good evening, a very good morning, very good afternoon, wherever you are, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.